Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name is Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Sunday and it's time for a review show special. Now this is where I take a particular trick, a particular a performer or creator or production company, and let's do a deep dive into a particular subject. And today it's a very exciting time because I'm going to be looking at On Edge by Angelo Carbone. Now anybody who has been watching this channel for any length of time will know that I think Angelo is an absolute genius. If you've watched the end of year 2023 best tricks according to Magic TV, you will have seen that I put On Edge, I think, third or fourth as the best trick of 2023. So there's going to be no surprise here when I tell you that this trick is absolutely awesome. But a lot of people have been asking for reviews on it, so I'm going to give it a very detailed review. I'm going to talk to you exactly what you need to know. But yeah, so that's this week's review show special. Now, if you haven't seen the trailer, I'm going to play the trailer for you first of all, because the trailer is a really great thing to look at because it gives you a really good overview of what On Edge is. So let's have a look at the trailer first of all, and I'll bring it back into the studio and we'll give it a full review.
Angelo Carbone often creates illusions that captivate the eye. There is something truly special about taking something and giving it a magical twist. Angelo has done that with the House of Cards, creating a truly magic moment. An idea that started in 2014. On Edge has been perfected over the years. Perform anywhere, anytime, without any special setups or environments. It's ready to go straight out of the box.
That's pretty impressive.
On Edge starts with a believable premise and seamlessly transitions into the realm of the impossible. Perform magic that stands on the edge of reality.
So what you just saw there was the trailer for Angelo Carbone's latest masterpiece. Now, if you do not know who Angelo Carbone is, when I say he is my favorite creator of all time, I do not lie. He is absolutely incredible. In my opinion, he is responsible for more amazing magic than anybody else I care to think of. He has this habit of showing me things and just blowing me away with everything that he does. His, and it's happened over and over again. Some of the best tricks that have ever been created are Angelo's, and they're always very off the wall, very different. It's why he's worked with Tenyo in the past, because a lot of his ideas are just completely out there. Notion in Motion, which I think is being re-released this year by Vanishing Ink, is the best goddamn rising card you'll ever see, period, ever. His I think it's called Hover. His deck levitation is probably the best deck levitation I've ever seen. The Gift is probably, well, no, not probably, definitely the best four-way out kind of like prediction device you'll ever see. Angelo just has a habit of being a genius. He can't help it. I think it's how his brain is wired. On Edge is very, very special because it's been released obviously at the tail end of 2023 through Murphy's Magic as a Murphy's Magic direct product. So it's come directly from their creative team. However, it was available for a couple of years beforehand, but very few people had one. Some of the top pros in the world had one, and you know, we're using it in their shows, and we're using it to blow away their audiences. Now, obviously, thanks to Murphy's, everybody can get their hands on this. So if you saw the trailer earlier, you'll know exactly what this is. It is basically the concept of building a card castle and then slowly taking away cards from that card castle, and it still remains suspended despite the fact that it's literally balancing on one point. Now, there have been impossible balance routines that have come out before. The one that springs instantly to mind is balanced by Joshua J in Vanishing Ink, where he had a variety of weird and wonderful random objects and caused them all to balance together. You know, balancing stuff has been done before. What On Edge has going for it, well, there's several things it has going for it, but one thing it has going for it is everybody knows what a card castle is. Everybody. People know what a card castle is. And also people know how difficult it is to create a card castle. It's not the easiest thing in the world. And so when you get yourself into a situation where you start building this card castle, because the routine really is in two parts. The first part is that you build the card castle, and then the second part is you take the cards away from the card castle bit by bit, and it remains balanced. It's just incredible. It really is. And there's so much to love about this particular routine. One thing to love about it is it's completely self-contained. It's not like there's an external hookup. It's not like... Right, okay, so what do I mean by that? I referenced Balance by Joshua J earlier on. When you do Balance by Joshua J, you have this massive box of stuff. You have the lid out, you have to have the sides kind of covered. No one can look in from the sides. And then you have to build this thing up, right? And so you need to have this big box with you. There's no external hookup. There's no big box. You literally bring out a deck of cards in the box, take the cards out of the box, put them down on the table, and then you start to build this card castle. So it's completely self-contained in that regard. Now, which is great. Now, I'm not going to go into method at all, obviously. However, I think the thing that's important and the thing that you need to understand is that this thing requires practice. It's not the sort of thing that you can do like immediately. And I've seen a few of them being sold on secondhand Facebook sites. And I think the reason that people are selling them, I think there's two reasons. I think the first reason is it ties into what I was talking about earlier on a video on this channel where I was talking about magicians being lazy. I think I've seen a lot of people just say that, you know, I've seen a lot of posts where in various different Facebook groups where people have bought it and they go, I'm selling mine, I can't do it, I give up. Or I'm putting it in my bottom drawer, it's not something that I can do, it never works for me. And the problem here is I think we've forgotten as magicians that things take practice. There's certain things that you can't do immediately. Yeah, you can buy a trick and you can do it immediately and you can put it straight into your act. There's tricks like that you can buy, absolutely 100%. But then there's tricks that are going to require practice. I've got stuff, so, you know, last week on this channel, I reviewed the Flying Linking Rings by Victor Volko, and I showed Ryland's performance of it. Now, Ryland's been practicing that thing for probably about the best part of 6 months, and he's only just put it into his act. Things require practice. There's certain routines that require a certain amount of practice. And this instant gratification thing that we seem to be driving home at the moment isn't necessarily a good thing. And that's what we have here. I think a lot of people have sold them because they've watched the tutorial and have expected to just be able to grab the cards and set it up immediately. And that's not the case. It's going to require practice. The other reason is I think a lot of people have bought it purely because they're secret collectors. They want to know how it's done. They want to have the knowledge of how it's done so that they can have a conversation with other magicians and go, oh yeah, I've got that. I know how it's done. Because it fooled a lot of people. It does fool a lot of people because it looks absolutely impossible. But when they buy it, they realize it's not something that's going to be appropriate for every performance. It's not the sort of thing you can do walk around. Obviously, you need kind of a softish surface. It doesn't have to be a softish surface, actually. Ryland's been doing it on a hard surface, but you need a surface, you need a table. You know, you can't do it. Realistically, you wouldn't be able to do it in a table hopping situation in a restaurant. It just wouldn't work. It's just this is really kind of more for a parlor or a cabaret style show than it is for a close-up show. Than it is for like a walk around close-up magician. You could do it in a stage show, absolutely. You could do it in a close-up show, a parlor show. You could do it in a cabaret show, but there's certain people that aren't going to be able to do this. And I think people have bought it and realised it's limited in terms of its performing possibilities, and they've sold it. And that's a shame, because honestly, I think learning this will open up so many. It'll give you way more knowledge than it would do if you didn't learn it to actually do it. This is great on social media. You could do this on social media. Ryland, when he gets this down, is planning on doing it on social media by just like standing in town centres and just doing it, and in coffee shops, just building a card castle and you know, having it impossibly balanced. We've got some cool ideas for social media content for this thing, which is great. But again, it's going to take practice. Now, bringing it back to Ryland, anybody who knows Rye knows that he loves to float stuff. He does the dancing Hank, the dancing cane, the dancing feather. If it dances impossibly, he's going to do it, right? So immediately this floated his boat. Now I'm going to show you a performance of Ryland doing it now. And this was shot about a week after he got it. So he'd spent a week rehearsing it and he got it to this point. Now this isn't perfect. It's nowhere near ready to perform in a show. But you can see where he's at after a week. Now, we haven't got any more footage of him doing it yet, but he's practicing it every day. He's not putting as much practice into it as he wants to, purely because he's rehearsing for his competition act in Blackpool. But he's rehearsing it every single day, and his goal is to have it in his show. He's got a run of shows before the Blackpool Magic Convention, and he's hoping to put it in his show by then, which is about a month's time. So, and I'll post another video on the channel when I actually get footage of him, when he feels like it's ready. I'll even get some footage from a show. But this is after about a week. You can see that there's a couple of ropey moments kind of towards the end, but you can see that it's pretty much where he needs to be. So let's have a look at this.
Hi, I'm Ryland the King Magician. And as a kid, I like to make card castles. But when I make card castles, I make them by magic. I'll show you what I mean.
Close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark, through the door, through where no one's been before, but it feels like home. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. to a world that we desire.
Tonight I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head, a million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make.
However big, however small, let me be part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the one you see, to the world I close my eyes to see. I close my eyes to see. Tonight I lie in bed, the brightest colors.
So that's a video of Ryland doing it. Now, that's an example of somebody who's, you know, I mean, Rye's only 11 years old, but he puts a lot of time and effort into learning magic. He really does. Especially if it's something that he wants to put into his show. His plan is to put this into his show as a piece to music, because Ryland's show is all about stuff that you like doing as a kid. You know, it's why he spends so much time with Lego and Harry Potter and levitations and things like that, because it's all stuff that Rubik's Cubes. And this is another example. You know, he likes the idea of turning around and saying, you know, as a kid, one of the first things I did with a pack of cards is my dad taught me how to make a card castle. And I learned how to make a card castle. But then I realized, because I'm a magician, I can take it one step further. Watch this, boom, music hits and he's away. So, you know, it makes sense, because Ryland does 95% of his bookings of stage shows. It makes sense for him to do this in this scenario. I love the fact that when it impossibly balances, you put your hands through and it immediately, you know, kind of falls down. It's just, the whole thing is great. But it's not for everybody. It's not for everyone. It's not going to be something that every single person would perform. I think if you're an amateur or a hobbyist, you would do this, because this is the sort of thing where you could have this deck of cards set up at home. You've got a coffee table and you say, hey, can I show you something? I've been practicing building card castles. Have a look at this. And then you build the card castle, and then you kind of go into this. I think it's great. There's lots of different ways of presenting it. You don't have to present it to music. You present it with patter. It's completely up to you. I just think it's a beautiful piece of magic. Now, the tutorial is exceptional. It leaves no stone unturned. There's a Facebook group offering great support as well, which is fantastic. And you get two versions of this kind of in the box. So you get a practice version, and then you get an actual version. The practice version you use to practice, and then there's a different version that you use when you're actually going out and performing it. And then you get extra stuff that you need. You need stuff to do this trick, and you get extra stuff. So if the stuff wears out, you get more stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing else that I can really say about it. It's exceptional. It's a beautiful piece of magic. I'm learning it. I'm not anywhere near as long as Ryland is, because I don't really do much with thread. So it's kind of a big learning curve for me. But he's, you know, doing a lot better. But I am learning it. I think it's exceptional. I think it's something different as well. You know, the amount of flap cards that comes out, the amount of card revelations that come out, it's almost daily. This is something that's a little bit different, that could be a feature of someone's act. I'm telling you right now, I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if within the next 2 years, this did not appear on a Got Talent somewhere around the world. Because this is the sort of thing that you could do on Got Talent, and I think it would really, really look beautiful, you know, with the right lighting, with the right music, and having it lit. I just think the whole thing would look really nice. So I'd be shocked if this didn't appear on some sort of TV show, either a TV spot, probably a Got Talent, maybe even a Penn and Teller Fool Us. Someone's going to do this at some point soon. I know they are. And everybody else will then go, oh, wish I'd have not sold that, and instead I've actually practiced it a little bit more. But it's definitely going to be a feature of certain people's acts. I know that there's a lot of pros around the world that are already using this in their act. I know Ryland wants to put this into his act, but I know that there's going to be other people that do as well. I think it's a beautiful piece of magic. I think it's one of the best tricks from 2023. I think it's one of the best tricks that Angelo's ever created. I think it's the ultimate balance trick. I don't think, with all of the advantages, you know, pretty much any table service, completely self-contained, you know, I think that there's a lot of advantages over this. The only thing is you're going to need to practice to get it right. And Angelo's, you know, very upfront and honest about this. This is not something that you're going to be able to do immediately. This is something that you can take practice. But I think it's great. It's getting 100%. It gets edged by the demi deck. The demi deck, I think, was slightly better. I think I put demi deck's second best trick of 2023, but this is damn close. I'm giving it 120%. I think it's brilliant. I think everybody who wants, if you watch the performance, if you watch the trailer, if you like what you saw, you are not going to be disappointed. You just have to be prepared to put the effort in. 120% from Ryland. I asked Ryland what he would give it. He's at school at the moment, but he said he would give it 7,937,326,436,922 to the power of 15, with 15 Minecraft points and 37 Zelda Cluely points as well. So take that for what you want. Ryan really likes it. I really like it. It's called On Edge. It's by Angelo Carbone. There you go, guys. That's another review show special in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, you want to see more videos like this, you know what you got to do? You just got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Don't forget, if you want to join the Netrix, please do so by going to www.thenetrix.com. That's www.thenetrix.com. It's my online streaming platform. There's hundreds of tricks on there, hundreds of slides, hundreds of videos in the archives. More right now at this very second on the Netrix than you could possibly ever watch, and we keep uploading more every single day. So go join the Netrix if you want to. Go see what all the fuzz is about. Either way, thanks very much for joining me for this review show special, and I will be back again on Monday with another 5x5, but don't forget, a Q&A went up at 12 o'clock today as well. There's a lot to watch. Have a great weekend. Hope you had a good one. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV. And can you believe it? I was palming 4 coins the entire way through that review and I didn't even realise. Have a great day.